In this video, we take a look at the lens effects imager. At the time being, lens effects imager has two effects, bloom or glow, and vignetting. I assume more lens effects will be added later on. Something like a glare lens effect would be nice, for example. Like any other Arnold imager, we can add it right from the render settings from the effects menu and change the imager type to lens effects. I tend to add my Arnold imagers right from the IPR, so let's delete it here and add a lens effects imager from the post tab in the IPR. Now let's run the IPR. As these are post-processing effects, we have to wait for the IPR to be finished for them to be applied. So let's start with bloom or glow. As strength controls the weight of the bloom effect. Radius controls the spread of the bloom effect. Threshold controls the minimum value at which pixels glow. For example, if I want to make sure the bloom won't be applied to this highlight reflection down here, as I know it has a lower pixel value at around 2.5 compared to our light sources, I can simply increase the threshold value to something like 3, so the bloom will only be applied to pixels with values higher than 3. And tint controls the color of the bloom. We have vignetting, which applies vignetting to the render. Now, if I take a look at the selection tab for this lens effects imager, you notice we have the same set of settings like all the other imagers. If you want this to be applied both to the IPR and to the final render, set the render mode to all. If you want them to be applied to the IPR for look depth purposes and not to the final render, change the render mode to IPR only. And if you want them to be applied only to the final render, change the render mode to patch only. Using this drivers dropdown, you can determine whether the imager will be applied to all your existing drivers if you have multiple of them in your scene, or just the selected ones that you can specify them in here. And right now, because AOV's mode is set to beauty, the imager will be applied only to the beauty AOV, but if I change it to all, the imager will be applied to all the available AOVs. So that's about lens effects imager. See you in the next one.